do not act as templates during transcription? Justify with a reason. So students, you all know that the DNA is double stranded. It means it is made up of the two strands. But for the process of the transcription, where the genetic information flows from DNA to the RNA. So when the genetic flow is transforming from the DNA to the RNA, during that process they are not going to use both the strands of the DNA. Okay, why both the strands of the DNA are not used during the transcription? Because now consider one strand of the DNA will be having ATGC. Okay, another strand will be having the nucleotides as TACG. When both are involved in the process of transcription, there will be formation of the different nucleotides of the RNA. When two different RNA strands are being formed, the two different that RNA will be coding for two different proteins. Because of this reason, they are not, for the process of transcription, there will not be usage of both the strands of the DNA. Okay, so when you are writing in the exam, your answer should be, if both the strands of DNA acts as a template, they would code for RNA molecule with different sequences. Okay, so if the two different sequences on proteins, then it will code for the two different characters. This is one reason, and one more reason is, if both the RNA molecule code for the sequence of amino acids in the proteins also will become different. So among these two, you can write any one reason, that is, if both the strands of the DNA acts as a template strand, then there will be two different RNA molecule with the different sequences. One more reason is, if those two RNA molecule with the different sequences will be coding for the two different amino acids. Okay, so because of this reason, they are not going to involve both the strands of DNA during the transcription. Next, 46th question. Name the enzyme involved in polymerization of nucleotides during transcription. The enzyme involved in the polymerization of nucleotides during transcription is called RNA polymerase. But that RNA should be dependent on the DNA. That's why we call that enzyme as DNA dependent RNA polymerase. Next, 47th question. What is a coding strand with respect to transcription? As you all have studied the transcription unit, so that transcription unit will be consisting of the promoter, structural gene, and the terminator. Okay, so there will be two strands. One is coding strand and another one will be the template strand. So here they are asking the question, that is, what is coding strand with respect to the transcription? So in that, your answer should be the strand which has polarity of 5 prime to the 3 prime, and where it doesn't code for anything. So this is called as a coding strand with respect to the transcription. Next, 48th question. What is a template strand with respect to transcription? 48th question, the answer is the strand which has the polarity of 3 prime to the 5 prime and who is carrying the genetic information to form the RNA. Next, 49th question. What is the significance of promoter site on a transcription unit. As I said, a transcription unit will be consisting of three regions. One is promoter region, structural genes, and another one is a terminator. So here they are asking what is the significance of the promoter site on the transcription unit. Okay, so this promoter unit is giving the place for the binding of a RNA polymerase enzyme. When the RNA polymerase enzyme binds to the promoter site, it is going to start the initiation of the transcription. Okay, so the significance of promoter site on a transcription unit is, it is the binding site for RNA polymerase, which also starts the initiation of transcription process. And remember, this binding of the that is the binding of RNA polymerase to the promoter region, it is also defining or it is also differentiating the template and coding strand. 50th question, what is a cistron? The segment of DNA which codes for a polypeptide is called a cistron. Next, 51 question, what do you mean by monocistronic transcriptional unit? The structural gene present in a transcription unit which codes for a single polypeptide is called a monocistronic transcriptional unit. Okay, so in the transcriptional unit, promoter region, structural gene, and the terminator gene. So in that structural gene, it will be consisting of the segment of the DNA which are going to code for a polypeptide. If that segment of the DNA is going to code for only one polypeptide, then it is called as a monocistronic. If it is coding for more than one polypeptide, then we consider it as a polycistronic. The structural gene, it will be carrying the segment of the DNA where it will be coding for one or the other polypeptide. So if it codes for only one polypeptide chain, then we are going to call it as monocistronic transcriptional unit. Next, 52nd question, what is polycistronic transcriptional unit? So just now I explained about the transcriptional unit, that is the transcriptional unit, the center region, the middle region, that is called the structural gene. So that structural gene will be consisting of the cistron. What is cistron? Cistron is a segment of the DNA which are going to code for the polypeptide. If the cistron is going to code for more than one polypeptide, then we call it as polycistronic transcriptional unit. 53rd question, what are exons? The exons are coding or the expressing sequences is called the exons. Next question, what are introns? The introns are non-coding or non-expressing or which cannot carry the genetic information. Such regions are called as introns. Next, 55th question, what are split genes? The eukaryotic structural gene has both coding and non-coding sequences. Such genes are called as split genes. So in case of eukaryotes, by using the double stranded DNA, in among that double stranded DNA only they are going to use template strand. When they use the template strand for the process of transcription, when the RNA is formed, that RNA will be consisting of the expressing sequences also and non-expressing sequences. Such structural genes are said to be as split genes. Next, 56th question. Why eukaryotic genes are called split genes? The eukaryotic genes, structural genes, are called as split genes because they are going to carry coding sequences as well as non-coding sequences. It means some regions will be expressing and some regions will be non-expressing sequences, or some regions of structural genes will be carrying genetic information and some will not be carrying genetic information. Because of this, we call the eukaryotic genes as split genes. Next question, 57th question. Mention the function of mRNA. The mRNA provides the template strand. Next, 58th question. Remember the function of mRNA. I said it provides a template strand. Okay, that is during the eukaryotes. Why in case of eukaryotes mRNA, tRNA, rRNA are being formed during transcription? Because in the eukaryotes, as transcription is going to take place inside the nucleus, the RNA polymerases are of three forms. There will be presence of in the nucleus RNA polymerase 1, RNA polymerase 2, RNA polymerase 3. All these three RNA polymerases will be present. So all these three RNA enzymes are going to help for transcription process. So during that time they are going to form mRNA, tRNA and rRNA. In that, mRNA is going to provide or act as the template strand. Next, 58th question. Mention the function of tRNA. So here the name itself tells T means transfer. What they are going to transfer? They are going to transfer the amino acids. Okay, so your correct answer should be it brings the amino acids and it also reads the genetic code. Next, 59th question. Mention the function of rRNA. The rRNA plays a structural and catalytic role during the process of translation. Next, 60th question. Why tRNA is called an adapter molecule? The tRNA is called as adapter molecule because you all have studied the clover leaf model. In that clover leaf model, you might have observed the 5' end and 3' end. So when you are drawing that clover leaf model, 5' end and 3' end, we are not going to show it as equal in length. One arm we are going to show it little bit longer, that we call it as a 5' end, and another one will be 3' end. So that 5' end, that is one hand will, that 5' end hand will be carrying or it will be carrying or it will be coding a amino acid. So because of this reason we call it as a tRNA as adapter molecule. Why we call the tRNA as adapter molecule? Because one hand of the tRNA will read the code and other hand will bind to specific amino acids. Next, 61 question. Mention the factors that temporarily associate with RNA polymerase during the initiation of transcription in transcription in prokaryotes. So during the transcription of prokaryotes, there are three processes. What are the three steps of transcription in the prokaryotes? Initiation, elongation, and termination. So during initiation to the promoter region, RNA polymerase is going to bind. For that RNA polymerase, some other factors are going to temporarily bind. What are those factors are called? Those factors are called as initiation factors, or they are also called as sigma factors. Next, 62nd question. Mention the factors that temporarily associate with RNA polymerase during termination of transcription in prokaryotes. As I said, in the transcription process, three steps are involved: initiation, elongation, and termination. So this termination is going to stop the process of transcription. So when the process of transcription is going to stop when the RNA polymerase reaches the terminator region. So to that RNA polymerase, some other factors are going to bind temporarily. So what are those factors are called? Those factors are called termination factors. Even they are also called as Rho factors. Next, 63rd question. Mention the enzyme that transcribes mRNA in prokaryotes. So please, students, don't get confused for this question. You all know that in the prokaryotes, the transcription is going to occur inside the cytoplasm, as in the prokaryotic cell there will not be the prominent nucleus is present. So here only one enzyme will be present in the prokaryotic cell, that is RNA polymerase only. So that enzyme, RNA polymerase, is the enzyme which transcribes mRNA in prokaryotes. Next, 64th question. In bacteria, translation can begin much before mRNA is fully transcribed. Give one reason. Just now I said that mRNA, when you in case of prokaryotes, the mRNA is formed inside the cytoplasm with the help of RNA polymerase, as there is no presence of a nucleus inside the prokaryotic cell. Because of that reason, translation is going to begin very quickly. Even the mRNA is not completely formed. So as the answer is transcription and translation, as it takes place inside the cytoplasm only in the bacteria, translation is going to begin very quickly before the completion of the transcription process. Next, 65th question. Mention the enzyme that transcribes hnRNA in eukaryotes. So what is hnRNA? hnRNA is heterogeneous nuclear RNA. Why we call it as heterogeneous nuclear RNA? Heterogeneous means different. Okay, so there will be presence of two different sequences. That only we consider it as exons and introns. So the enzyme that transcribes hnRNA in eukaryotes is called RNA polymerase II. Next, 66th question. Which enzyme is involved in transcription of tRNA in eukaryotes? The enzyme involved in the transcription of tRNA in eukaryotes is RNA polymerase III. So remember, students, in the eukaryotes there will be prominent nucleus present. So as the transcription is going to take place inside the nucleus, the RNA polymerases are of three forms. So these three different forms of RNA polymerase will be helping for the transcription of the different forms of RNA. You might be having question, why the three different forms of RNA are being formed inside the eukaryotic cell? Because further the translation process is not going to take place inside the nucleus. When the mRNA is being formed, that mRNA is going to come out of the nucleus and starts for the process of translation, because translation is going to take it is going to take the help of ribosomes also. So because of that, the three different forms of the RNA are has to be formed inside the eukaryotic cell. Okay, so the remaining questions I'll be discussing in the next class. Thank you, students.